What's going down, people? How you doing? TK Pryor coming at you. Mr. Finance here on Master Wealth Builders hashtag in social media. Today I just want to talk to you about the identification of legal status. And what I mean when I say that is that every code enforcer works for a private corporation in which they're trained to challenge you on your legal status. And if you pass this test or fail this test, you'll be treated accordingly. So when a code enforcer, meaning a private contractor to the service corporation, challenges your legal status, you must separate yourself from the chattel slaves that fall underneath the Christian black codes via the Vatican Church. And if you fail to pass that test, then you will be treated as a slave. And under the 1940s Buck Act, area for the Constitution of the United States have been designated as federal, and citizens of that federal property are then labeled as chattel. So citizens don't have the right to interfere with interruptions of the unum sanctum policies associated with federal land. So you have to understand the Buck Act of 1940. You have to separate yourself as not being a chattel slave. You have to declare your nationality and demand protection underneath the rights that comes with the birth protection of the Constitution for the Republic of the United States, which is a difference from the Constitution. The Constitution for the Republic is different from the Constitution of the United States. And if you don't separate yourself in that legal status identification, you will be treated accordingly. So all of these code enforcers that challenge you for ID are basically challenging your competency as a heir within the Republic. And if you label yourself under colored law, you will be treated as property via the Christian black codes and the 1940s Buck Act. So people are subjugated through their identification when challenged. So the difference is that you have to declare your own. Every man, woman, and child must declare their own, and no one can help you pass this test. When you're faced with the code enforcer, you have to instantly separate yourself from the Christian black codes, from the 1940s Buck Act, and declare your sovereign rights that are inalienable underneath the Constitution for the Republic of the United States. And if you cannot and do not and don't understand the difference, you will be separated under colored law. Therefore, that code enforcer has the ability to treat you as a 14th Amendment citizen of the Constitution of. And that's what you have to understand. So this is why I say that my people die because of a lack of understanding. No one is studied enough to realize that there's legislation that separates people in a caste system. So it's not about anything other than classism and caste systems via colored law. So understanding the inalienable rights that you're born with underneath your motherland and going after that code enforcer's bond that they're required to have in order to operate as a private contractor in the land via the Board of Governors and the High Catholic Parishioner of that area will have them back down, because you can charge your time under threat and coercion against their bond. And that's the same thing they do to you when you assume or assign authority via your speech, via your spell, that you submit and fall under when they challenge you. So hopefully some of you guys wake up, but it seems like it's no possible way to wake up stupid, and people will continue to be subjugated, continue to be alienated under the false matrix or the false womb, where a lot of people who understand this information use it against you so that they can get kickbacks and be paid off by the Roman cure. You have to understand that all code enforcers are part of the Roman cure. So not understanding that means you will fail when they challenge you. So people really need to be proactive in their educational process. And that's what declaring your nationality means. It means studying to show yourself approved so that you can pass the test when you're challenged by the occupying forces or colonists or minions to the colonists that basically rule the land. So declaring your nationality, separating yourself from chattel slaves, speaking about your inalienable rights, and clearly going after their bond with the Board of Governors and the High Parishioner of the Catholic Church within that region will require them to back down. And if they don't back down in light of that declaration of inalienable rights, then you go after their finances. You go after their Federal Reserve notes, or demand payment in equivalent of Federal Reserve notes via gold, silver, or Bitcoin. So this is what my people must elevate to in terms of stepping out of your lowest house, elevating your consciousness, and standing on your square. I'm not using the information to subjugate my people, and I'm not interested in kickbacks within Federal Reserve notes that represent the land and resources that's been stolen from the true heirs and inhabitants of the land. Why the hell would you do that? It shows you that you have no spine, you have no backbone, and that you're short-sighted, settling for something that represents something else that's being stolen. Empower yourself, great rising, grand feminine energy, and definitely tap into your higher self. Let go of the lower self and ego. Step out of the matrix. Empower your ability to stand up to your rightful heirship, to your rightful ownership, to your inalienable rights that were born with you and given to you, in which no man can lean or take from you.